Paul Heyman was spotted in a private backstage meeting just minutes after Bron Breaker was brutally attacked on Monday Night Raw, and what we uncovered will shock the entire WWE universe. What's up, Suplex Rumble family? Welcome back to the channel where we bring you the hottest wrestling news, backstage rumors, and the stories that WWE doesn't want you to know about. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because you do not want to miss what we're about to reveal today. This story has been developing over the past 72 hours, and trust me when I say this could change everything we thought we knew about the current landscape of Monday Night Raw. Let's set the scene, wrestling fans. This past Monday on Raw, we witnessed one of the most vicious, unprovoked attacks in recent memory. Bron Breaker, the young powerhouse who's been absolutely dominating the competition, was blindsided in what can only be described as a calculated assault. Now, for those who missed it, let me paint you a picture. Breaker had just finished an intense interview segment where he was calling out potential challengers. The lights flickered, classic WWE theatrics, right, and when they came back on, Breaker was being absolutely demolished by a masked attacker. We're talking steel chair shots, multiple finishers, and a level of brutality that left the WWE universe absolutely stunned. Medical personnel rushed to the scene, and Breaker was helped to the back, clutching his ribs and barely able to stand. The commentary team was going absolutely insane, trying to figure out who this masked assailant was. Social media exploded with theories. Was it a returning superstar? A grudge from NXT? Someone from another brand looking to make a statement? But here's where things get interesting, fam, and this is where our investigation really begins. According to multiple sources close to the situation, sources who have proven reliable in the past, Paul Heyman was seen approximately 30 minutes after Raw went off the air having what witnesses described as a very intense, very secretive conversation in one of the private production areas backstage. Now, let me be crystal clear here, Paul Heyman being backstage at Raw isn't unusual. The wise man has his fingers in many pies in WWE. But what caught people's attention was who he was meeting with and how secretive they were being. Our sources indicate that Heyman was spotted slipping into a restricted area, one that's typically reserved for only the highest level executives and talent having sensitive discussions. Security was reportedly stationed outside, which immediately raised red flags for several production crew members who noticed the unusual activity. The meeting lasted approximately 15 to 20 minutes. When Heyman emerged, witnesses say he had a very particular expression, not quite a smile, but what one source described as the look of someone who just made a major power play. But here's the million-dollar question that everyone's asking: was Bron Breaker's attacker in that meeting? Multiple eyewitness accounts suggest yes. Let's break down what we know and connect some dots here. Suplex Rumble Nation. Paul Heyman is one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling history. We're talking about a man who's orchestrated some of the most memorable storylines, managed legendary talents, and always seems to be 3 steps ahead of everyone else. Currently, Heyman's main role is serving as the wiseman to Roman Reigns and the Bloodline saga. But let's be real, Paul Heyman has never been the type to put all his eggs in one basket. This is a man who constantly builds alliances, plants seeds for future storylines, and positions himself to remain relevant no matter what direction the company goes. Now, think about Bron Breaker for a moment. This young man is a second-generation superstar with an incredible pedigree. He's got the look, the athleticism, the intensity, and the potential to be a main event player for the next decade. He's exactly the type of talent that someone like Paul Heyman would want in his corner or would want to control. But here's the thing: Breaker has been very vocal about doing things his way. He's rejected multiple offers for management, he's turned down alliances, and he's made it clear that he's a lone wolf who doesn't need anyone speaking for him. For a master manipulator like Paul Heyman, that kind of independence could be seen as either a challenge or a threat. So who was the masked attacker, and what's their connection to the wiseman? Let me walk you through the top theories that are circulating right now. Theory number 1, the returning superstar. There's been a lot of chatter about certain WWE talents whose contracts recently expired or who've been away dealing with injuries. Could Heyman have orchestrated the return of a major player who owes him a favor? Someone who needs Heyman's guidance to re-establish themselves on the main roster? The timeline would make sense. Heyman would get a new client to mold and control, and this superstar would get instant credibility by taking out one of Raw's most dominant forces. Theory number 2, the NXT call-up. This one's really interesting, folks. What if Heyman has been working behind the scenes to bring up one of NXT's top talents, someone who's been chomping at the bit for a main roster opportunity? Taking out Bron Breaker, a former NXT champion who successfully made the transition, would be the ultimate statement. It would be like saying, there's a new alpha in town, and they're aligned with the most dangerous advocate in WWE history. Theory number 3, the inside job. Now this theory is wild, but hear me out. What if someone already on the Raw roster has been secretly communicating with Heyman? Someone who's been frustrated with their position, someone who feels overlooked, someone who's willing to do whatever it takes to climb the ladder? Heyman's genius has always been identifying hungry talent and giving them the platform to unleash their full potential. Could this attack be the beginning of a complete character transformation for an existing Raw superstar? But let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. If Paul Heyman is orchestrating this attack and building a new alliance, what does this mean for the current WWE landscape? First, it could signal a major shift in the power dynamics on Monday Night Raw. We've seen Heyman's influence elevate talents to championship status multiple times throughout his career. If he's genuinely backing Breaker's attacker, we could be looking at a new main event player emerging very soon. Second, this could be setting up an absolutely epic rivalry. Imagine Bron Breaker, fueled by rage and the desire for revenge, going to war against not just his attacker but the entire machine that Paul Heyman can mobilize. We're talking about potential multi-man matches, faction warfare, and storylines that could dominate Raw for months to come. Third, and this is where things get really spicy, could this somehow tie back into the Bloodline saga? Is Heyman playing both sides? Is he preparing for a future where Roman Reigns might not be at the top of the mountain? Is he building insurance policies and backup plans? These are the questions that keep wrestling fans like us up at night. The beauty of professional wrestling is that it's a never-ending chess game, and Paul Heyman is undoubtedly one of the grandmasters. Every move has a purpose, every alliance has a strategic value, and nothing happens by accident when the Wiseman is involved. So what can we expect moving forward? Well, if history has taught us anything, it's that Paul Heyman doesn't make moves without having a complete plan in place. This attack on Bron Breakker was calculated, the timing was perfect, and the execution was flawless. This coming Monday on Raw, all eyes will be on several things. Will Bron Breakker return and demand answers? Will the masked attacker reveal themselves? Will Paul Heyman address these rumors, or will he continue operating in the shadows like he does best? One thing's for certain, the WWE Universe is absolutely buzzing with anticipation, and that's exactly what makes wrestling the greatest form of entertainment on the planet. Alright, Suplex Rumble family, that's everything we know so far about this developing situation. But here's where you come in. I want to hear your theories in the comments below. Who do you think attacked Bron Breakker? Is Paul Heyman really involved, or is this all just coincidence? What do you think the Wiseman's endgame is here? Drop your predictions down below, and let's get a discussion going. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the hottest stories in WWE right now, make sure you smash the like button. It really helps the channel grow and allows us to keep bringing you this premium wrestling content. If you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We've got more breaking news, analysis, and exclusive wrestling content coming your way all week long. Want to go even deeper? Check out our community tab where we post polls, updates, and behind-the-scenes info throughout the week. We've also got a members-only section where you can get early access to videos and exclusive content you won't find anywhere else.